What is up, gamers? Staxwell is back at it again today with another market watch. The Prism hype train is in full effect here. We're getting a new Prism spoiler tomorrow. Pros are playing Prism on stream. Everyone's super excited about the hero. Of course, Prism being probably the fan favorite in all of Flesh and Blood. But let's go ahead and jump straight into it here. The cold foil Prism is at 150, and there's only 2 left on the market. I remember the week of the event, this was of course the Nationals promo that you get for attending and participating in Nationals. The weekend of US Nationals anyway, this was selling for like 90 to 100 to 110. That was like the ballpark price range at the event that people were selling it for, and I was seeing transactions at these prices. And even on TCG Player, we could see just a week ago it was at 119. So huge jump here. People are getting very excited. It's not the only card that's been moving. If we look at all the figments here, they're all getting a little bit crazy compared to what they were a couple weeks ago. Particularly if we look at Aegis, the agent or the Archangel of Protection is at 178, $180. Absolutely crazy. If we look just a few weeks ago here, it was at $85. People are getting real hype about Prism. So let's get ahead of that one step. And let's get ready to combat Prisms. I think a long forgotten about card is Vambrance of Determination. For those who don't know, this kind of plays around the ward mechanic quite well. Lets you use your floating resources to destroy angels or things like that. They might be planning to ward you a certain way, and they have to play differently, knowing that Vambrance is in the game. This is a legendary from Outsiders. It's only $9. It's generic. I'm sure this will ebb and flow in and out of the meta for years to come. So I think it's a very fair price tag for only $9. If you don't have one, just kind of prepare yourself a little bit for the Prism meta. Pick one up. Squishy and Fluke, this is the Armory promo for this month. And then it's also like a buy a box promo. So I'm looking at the buy a box promo here. The rainbow foil is at $14. So go out there, buy some boxes. They're basically $14 off. You get that Squishy and Fluke. You post it on TCG Player. You make a little bit of your money back. Never been a better time to buy a sealed product. And then the cold foil, there isn't any listed up here, but I think one sold for like $30 or $40, something like that. So yeah, again, never a better time to get out to your locals, support the store, buy some boxes, play in the armory, win yourself some Squishy and Floofs. And yeah, they're just going a little bit crazy. Totally makes sense though. Such a flavorful hero, such a festive hero. Yeah, I could see this being money for years to come, especially like 3-4 years later, when new holiday theme promos comes out, and then someone looks back to all the old holiday theme promos. We see this every year with the holiday cracked baubles. Every December they get bought out. This already happened this December, and it happened last December. It's gonna happen every December. So yeah, the shitty Xmas gift, holiday crack bauble, all this stuff is back in season. Squishy and Floof is just like the next iteration of that. Probably almost certainly to hold a little bit more value in that you need to have this card to play the hero, whereas you don't need the holiday cracked bauble to play the cracked bauble, of course. Yeah, I think it's a cool card. I think it's a flavorful card. And if you don't have one, I don't think you should buy one. Get out there, buy a box and get a free one, or get out there and play an armory and earn one through the Flesh and Blood, if you will. Phantom Tide Maw. This card's kind of interesting, and all of the Bright Lights expansion slots cards are very interesting because it turns out they're way more rare than we originally thought they were. So this is why cards like Tome of the Imperial Flame and Already Dead are just going crazy right now. Same with, what's that warrior card that destroys a face-down defense reaction? That one too. All these cards are going crazy and they're disappearing from the market. So if Prism is posed to be good, everyone says that this card is a good card. I don't fully see it. I don't think it's terrible or anything. I think it's better than any of the current blue auras either. And that's just because it has Ward 1. But hey, if other people are playing it, cool. This actually gets countered a little bit by our Vambrance here if they're planning on blocking a certain way. We could come over the top of Vambrance and destroy their Phantom Mod Tide. But either way, even Tectonic Rift or Smashing Performance, like all of these expansion slot cards that are just $1 or $2 are totally worth picking up right now. Again, they're way more rare than we originally anticipated. Let's look at Smashing Performance. Non-foil is $2. But if we go to the foil, there's only 8 on the market. They're all like $3 each, but there's only 8. Once these are bought up, they're gone. With heavy hitters coming out, Brute Synergy coming out, the mechs are still very popular in the meta. Dash just made 2 of the top 8. But anyway, mechs in general always have a presence in the meta more now than ever so before. So it makes sense that with new Brute cards, Smashing Performance could be a card that you're going to play. Don't wait for it to be played and sell out and disappear like Already Dead did, like Tome of Imperial Flame did. Go ahead, get ahead of that if you're a brute player. Pick up a couple copies for yourself in case you wind up playing it. Same with Tectonic Rift. We've talked about this before. I think Valda is coming in this new heavy hitter set. I think she's going to be one of the Guardians. Valda, as we all know, is based entirely around creating Seismic Surge tokens and the synergies that come along with that. Not saying Tectonic Rift will be good, but a $5 insurance policy, you know what I mean? It's not a bad pickup. There's only 13 rainbow foils of this one on the market, and look, some of them are just totally crazy, like $50 for rainbow foil, $40 for rainbow foil. So there's not even 13 really. There's probably like 10, and they're all about $5. So yeah, for $15 you get a play set of foils. Again, if this is an integral part to her strategy, this card will go totally crazy, just like Tome of the Imperial Flame did, just like Already Dead did. Yeah, so we talked about Phantom Riptide. Intoxicating Shot, here's another one. People are speccing into Riptide cards. They're very good against the ninjas and things like that. Well, Riptide is very good against the ninjas, very good against these more aggressive decks, pretty reliably can fatigue out the boost dash. There's a lot of considerations with Riptide, and then we also have that new Riptide spoiler that got announced. So a lot of excitement behind this hero. The regular non-foil is $7, and then there's only 6 of those on the market. There's 7 rainbow foils on the market, and these rainbow foils are like $9 each. Again, I think this is going to happen to any card that's semi-playable from the Bright Lights expansion slot, particularly the Majestics. Again, these Bright Lights expansion Majestics are way more rare than we thought they were. You could see movement in cards that aren't even played, like Intoxicating Shot. Imagine a world in where people are actually playing Riptide and people are actually needing to buy Intoxicating Shot. This card still has a lot of room to go up, as do all of these expansion slot cards. So the ones that are just $1, $2, like Smashing Performance, I just recommend picking up a playset. I don't see a huge reason not to. Speaking of Tectonic Rift and Valda, last time we talked about this card, it was like $35 and there was only 2 left on the market. Nature is healing a little bit here. There's plenty more copies. There's about 10 up here, all around that $20 price point. So if you've been waiting out or you feel like you missed the train on that, I just kind of wanted to bring it to everyone's attention that there's more up there. Valda hasn't officially been confirmed yet. If you're buying into the conspiracy like I am, it could be a good time to pick it up before she gets officially announced. Emperor Drakai of the Asir. It turns out if every content creator makes a Blitz tier list or makes a Emperor deck tech, this card goes crazy. We talked about this card so many times throughout the last year on this channel. It's good to see he finally gets his time in the sun. The cold foil is $51, absolutely insane. And there's only one up here for $51, then it jumps to $70. So I just want to point out how insane this is. The rainbow foil, funny enough though, is actually not getting any movement. It's still only $7. So yeah, I guess Emperor players just like to bling out their decks. Interesting. I just thought I should bring it to everyone's attention. Teklo Core, this is the one from the skirmish season. I just didn't know if everyone knew it was on TCG Player yet, so I want to bring it to everyone's attention. It is $120, give or take. Everyone has their sights set so much on Prism that they forgot about the Dragon Mommy herself, Dromi. All of the dragons have gone down pretty crazy, actually. Chromai is at $22, Kyloria is at $20. These cards all used to be $40 just a couple weeks ago. Vincerikai is $15, Necria is $15, Talmutai is $150. This card was breaking $250. I posted and I said I wanted to buy it for $200 when I was at Dallas. This was like a month ago, and no one wanted to sell me their Talmutai for $200. That was too low of an offer at the time. Now it's down to $150. Everything is so cheap at the moment. I think it's a great time to buy all this stuff. Even if Dromi Living Legends, which I don't think she will anytime soon, she would need to win like the Pro Tour to Living Legend. If she doesn't exactly win the Pro Tour, we're going to have like 6 more months of Dromi at least. And if we have 6 more months of Dromi, this is all a great investment. And even when Dromi rotates, LSS has already shown us in the new Prism that they're not afraid to print the exact same hero again, but with a slightly different ability. So even if Dromi's gone, I'm sure we'll see another iteration of Dromi at some point. These cards are so beautiful. This hero is so loved by the community. I can't imagine they would just let the IP of Dromi just fade into obscurity. I imagine they'll keep pumping this stuff out. I feel very safe in this investment. Speaking of deeply loved heroes, Icelander is like a very special case of a hero that captures people's hearts in a weird way. Like Oldham, The Cold Full Oldham, when he was like at his prime right before he Living Legend, it was like $250. If you look at the Cold Full Oldham now, he's $70. Same with Lexi. Lexi's $70. These heroes weren't particularly loved, right? They were the best hero in the game. Sure, you know, people probably liked winning with them, but there was nothing about the hero itself that really resonated with people in the same way that Icelander does, right? Icelander's gone. You can't play this card, and yet it's $550 for the Cold Foil still. You would think people would be undercutting each other left and right trying to get rid of it, but not really. There's a lightly played one for $430, and then yeah, it jumps to $550, and no one's budging on these prices either, and you know, none of them are selling, right? So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's kind of crazy. No one is undercutting. You would think now that she's gone, the cards would get a little bit cheaper, but that's just not the case. Maybe there is a little bit of LL copium here. Maybe people think one day she'll be good in Living Legend format. And I'm sure that will be true, right? Now that, you know, while Icelander was legal, they had this permanent constraint on you can't print too broken of a non-attack action blue card because then Icelander will be OP. That was like a permanent game developmental restriction that they had to comply to, and now that's gone, right? So any new set moving forward can have, you know, very good non-attack action blues without the threat of Icelander abusing them. So maybe as they print more of that stuff, Icelander will become good in LL format. I wouldn't just say she'll never be good, but she's currently not good at all in LL format. Unfortunately, Starvo is just way overstated. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to bring up how much people love heroes and how because of that love, they can't let this stuff die. Stormstriders, the white border is only $60, obviously because Icelander's gone. So the cheaper copies of these cards are going to go down, of course. The only hero that could play it right now is Kano, but I would imagine that LSS doesn't like Kano being the only wizard in the format. I'm sure they'll give us another one very shortly, and when they do, we're all going to need a Stormstriders again. Yeah, so $60, I doubt it's going to get much cheaper than this. I think it's a good pickup if you have any interest in wizard, even if it's not Kano. Any interest in any future wizards, I think this is probably the floor for Stormstriders. I can't imagine a legendary this busted getting any cheaper than this. Twin Drive has gone down a lot. Anyone who's interested in Mechanologist is only $30 now. Last time we checked on this, it was like a $45 card. So it's good to see a little bit more accessibility come to that class, especially because we had so many new players introduced in the Bright Lights format, especially because we had so many new players introduced to the game through Bright Lights. So many of them, of course, naturally gravitated to Mechanologist. Twin Drive being a Mechanologist staple, I'm glad to see it go down a little bit so these new players could get the cards they need for their deck. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, rate, subscribe, and help the algorithm help me out just a little bit later, gamers.